the field. They're only in need of a field goal, a decent amount of time on the clock. So tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to be too panicked here.
No, not at all. I agree with you. And this is where your preparation and your confidence comes into play. They've worked on these situations.
They practice this all the time,
They practice it all the time. They know what they want to get done. And in a lot of cases, the great competitors, they love this situation. They think they can go ahead and get it done.
They practiced it. We'll see if practice makes perfect. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
So the penalty by the offense, and now they face a 1st and 15. Back to throw. Surveying the field. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Well, that plays a statistic that's going to go on the defensive team stat sheet. Won't necessarily reflect in ours, right, the overall game sheet, but you and I know that they keep count on pressures, hits on quarterbacks, all those things, hoping to increase that throughout the game. And here we are in the fourth quarter, and they got a big one.
Yeah, it's such a close game, a very big one. It's caught, left side, Tammy. Give him 30 yards there.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate. They'll look to throw. Flushed out right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it. Incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Second down following the incompletion. Shift together here from the D-line. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Yards to go on third. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. He'll look to throw. This will be caught at about the 3. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the kick for the 41-year-old is up and good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this 4th quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The New York set to take the field. Tie game, and barring something incredible here, we're likely headed to overtime.
And just a couple of scenarios here to keep in mind. One, if you want to be really aggressive, you do throw the Hail Mary and see if you can get something downfield.
What would you do?
What I would do is either hand it off inside or more likely I take a knee and let the clock run out. Because if I'm...
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The New York set to take the field. They control their own destiny here. They have the football in overtime. Obviously, a touchdown would win it.
And I think teams around the league are still adjusting to the idea of going downfield, scoring a touchdown wins the game because they were used to just going downfield and trying to get in field goal range to win a game. Still having to make that transition. Let's face it now, the ones who are doing it best know they need to go down, attack, put the ball in the end zone, and not leave it up to a field goal and give the other team a chance.
Yeah, as we said, they control their own destiny now. First throw of overtime here for Manning. And this is Shepard on the catch. And he's brought down after a good game. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables, otherwise they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
They'll come out in the pistol. They run with Perkins. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed. And that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
My high school coach, John Ford, used to say all the time, if you're in a bad situation, laddie, don't compound it with a bad decision as well. And I think that's what we just saw there. Harassed in the pocket, and he throws into double coverage anyway.
He called you laddie?
He called me laddie, and that was the nicest thing he called me.
And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion.
3rd and 11, 5 in the secondary now.
Nickel look. To throw is Manning. And that is incomplete. They were looking to find space there for Paul Perkins. And that brings up 4th down. Here's Brad Wing now. On for a very important punt here in overtime. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. They've got some decisions to make now. In field goal range already. How do you play this out?
You check with your kicker to make sure the spot that he told you that he wants it is still the same as the game has gone on, because sometimes the kickers have to make adjustments. They may all of a sudden become more confident about their range and their spot. They may become less confident about it. Where do you want it, and what is the range that we need to get into for you to kick the one through the post for us to win?
And now the ball comes out. Manning lost it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Neither team scored yet. Now we go to sudden death. Next points win this game.
How about the tension right now? It is ratcheted up, isn't it? I mean, now whatever happens, points are scored. That's your ball game. Can't wait to see the defense now. Do they get a little more aggressive in order to not let the team just drive the ball?
Devontae Freeman, they're not going to get him. The 20. And he is in for the score. And it is absolute stunned silence here as they win it on the road in overtime. Well, you never know what you're going to expect when you come to the stadium to call a game. Sometimes you get good ones. Sometimes you get bad ones. Sometimes you get great ones. And that's what we had here. What an exciting finish on that last big play.
And I think that as we look at it, when you're talking about a great finish, which went along with a game that obviously was dramatic because we did get into overtime, what type of play calls do you have left? What have you not shown? Or what have you made an adjustment to what you've worked out all the way through is going to give you the play we saw to win the game? Because I know everyone's thinking that was something that they just drew up. It might have been something they've been working on, and now they got the right matchup.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.